Response from free-to-play battle royale game Apex Legends clocked it 28 million hours of Twitch viewership on February 12, during the Twitch Rivals event, just 8 days after the game first launched, according to data checked by Gamoloco. That's 1.2 million more hours than Fortnite's biggest viewership day. That metric comes from the cumulative hours of a game's streams watched by all Twitch users across any given day. According to Gamoloco, Fortnite peaked back on July 12, 2018 during its Season 5 launch. Apex Legends, however, managed to creep upon that record even before the Twitch Rivals event burst on February 11, 7 days after launch. 1 cumulative hours were spent watching Apex streams on Twitch. The day before that, February 10, 9 million hours were logged. Apex Legends only released a little over a week ago, and has seen a rapid rise in viewership and players since. The game, which was all at once announced and released at the beginning of February, crossed 1 million unique players just 8 hours after going live. Within 72 hours, it had already surpassed 1 million concurrent and 10 million lifetime players. This boast that originates from the site Narrative Construction contains no spoilers. But if you hold a belief that some designers are mysterious, and that their games are magic, I would advise thinking twice before deciding to read the post. The title, Putting into Play, is inspired by the term mise-en-scene, which means putting into the scene, put on stage. The term had its origin in theater, and was later picked up by film scholars as to have a way of referring to the practice of directing, planning and controlling the elements for the desired effect on a stage or in a frame of a film. Since the term isn't established in games, but where the concept could provide an overlook of the stylish elements that are to be organized and arranged in the creation of a film, my intention is not to put a new term into play. What I will put into play are the thoughts that precede the choice of elements that are to become the parts of the desired form of an engaging and dynamic game system. This isn't the first time in propelling thoughts as mean to show how the initial thoughts matter to the construction of a concept. But what differs, putting into play, from the former 24 posts, where I have used propellors, radiators, grandmothers, contract killers, Cinderella's shoe, and even Walter White's underwear, as a mean to describe the narrative, from a cognitive perspective in construction of an experience, is that I will, from now, leave the old analogies. The cause is due to a 7-grade model of causal thinking, Gärdenfors Lombard, 2017, that explains how our thinking and understanding works. As to be more precise, it shows what is going on inside the head, which make us act and react. So from now on, due to the shift in approach, if you would like hands-on advice regarding game-specific elements associated with the narrative, according to how the roles and responsibilities are currently sectioned on an organizational level in the industry, on writing plot summaries, quests, narrative branched choices and conversation systems, I recommend reading the writer and narrative designer Alexander Frey's blog here, on Gamsutra here, to explain what I mean by putting a thought into play, and how the initial thought matters to what is to become a game. I will take an example from an interview with the writer Dan Hauser, from 2010. Link to the interview is here. When he describes the initial thoughts that preceded the making of the Wild West open world game Red Dead Redemption 2010, developed by Rockstar Studios. The core idea of the game to make a fast-paced shooting game with the sensibilities of a fighting game was very interesting, and was doing really well. But we love open-world games, and in finishing Red Dead Revolver, we also fell in love with the Wild West. The main thing we wanted to keep and expand upon from Red Dead Revolver was the core sensibilities of the gunplay, which we all really loved. The rest, we wanted to start over and make a game that was vast and epic in scope. Since Red Dead Redemption 2 has recently been released, one can see how the initial thoughts that were put into play 8 years ago have evolved. From the old concept to Red Dead Revolver, from 2004, with gunplay as its core mechanic, the thoughts to make a game that was vast and epic in scope has reached a new level. What this means is that Revolver and his team has given the open world game, vast and epic in scope, a new meaning. And for you who haven't played the games, the new meaning that has been given to the second game was not only to make the world map bigger. What the team did was to move into the details of the game by letting their thoughts give depth to as many objects as possible, giving each a unique mechanic, which created an even more dynamic world compared to the first that met undo epic in scope. Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games. To understand how our thinking works when taking off from a thought towards the desired outcome, I'm going to take help from the 7th grade model of reasoning, which is based on the evolution of causal cognition, and where causal cognition is described by Gärdenfors Lombard, 2017. A. To predict outcomes based on observations. B. To affect and control events in the world around us. And C. Ultimately, to predict causes from effects, even if the causes are not perceivable. Since the grades in the model distinguish with an increased level how the causal thinking of the human work, our thinking, and where the first grades only involve the perception of agency, unless we don't want to explore the agency from that hazard's motor commands when pressing the key that makes the computer start. I will jump the first grade and give you a glimpse of the second. Before we are moving on to the more intriguing grades, the illustrations and descriptions that will be shown are from the post, a short guide to the 7th grade module, a link to post, that go to the origin of our thinking started long before the computer age, which explains the theme, and where the headers defining the grades are from the publication, Tracking the Evolution of Causal Cognition in Humans, Gärdenfors Lombard,
2017.
As I have reserved the right as an artist to see how the model can illuminate the intuitive thinking in the making of games. In the case of research, I refer to read the publication, which link can be found at the end of the post. This grade involves 2 individuals who take turns in performing a similar action. I understand that your action causes an effect, because it gives the same result as my action. Gärdenfors Lombard,
2017. P. 3.
If we return to Hauser, the second grade would be as if Hauser, from seeing a colleague pressing the key on the computer, would learn, in the same way as the cavemen learned from each other cracking eggs, how to start a computer, if knowing that our will to understand is constantly on, which cognitively make us perceive what others do related to our own action. An example of a game where the second grade of reasoning is involved is the online game Journey, by that game company, where a player can come to another player's help as to show how to do things, and where to go. From the understanding and learning, the player can then transfer what has been learned to another player.
WHO.
In turns, pass it on to another player, and so on, which can explain why we like to learn together with others. Journey, that game company, Sony Computer Entertainment. From the exchange of thoughts from seeing and learning, we can notice how the core cognitive activities depicted in the second grade also depict the core mechanic of collaboration in journey, which is making the cognitive vehicle of causation intertwine with the rules, behaviors and goals of a mechanic. Since the 7th grade model of reasoning is focused on describing the human thinking, it is also through the 3rd grade one can discern from the results of archeological excavations of Stone Age weapons how the human thinking and understanding has evolved.